I just want to break down step by step how I've been practicing calling him to come to me. And you want to call him to come away from any distraction at this point, anything or anybody where he looks and his ears perk up and he's going, what's that? You want to practice your recall, call him away from that, because every time you do that, it gets easier and easier. And you probably have already seen, I've seen it with him, that before you can call him to come, he's already coming back to you, which is what we want. Instead of doing what he did sometimes before, which is to see something or somebody bark, go crazy, whatever it was. Now that distraction is just triggered to turn away from it, come back to you, get rewarded, good, just like that. And that's what we want. We don't want him pulling away from you and barking and getting crazy. We want him seeing that distraction, choosing to turn away, his back on it, move away from it, come to you, get rewarded, makes you the center of the universe as well, as opposed to being irrelevant, which is what, the way he was acting before he had this training. You weren't completely irrelevant, but in a training sense, on the leash out in public, if he wanted to go nuts on something, most likely you were just pulling him around and struggling with him, and it was a giant scene. So we never want to go back to that. So you got a really good recall now. And the way that it's going to get better is if you practice it just like this, step by step. Left hand leash. So if I'm walking him and he's on free time, I'm just going like this. If you don't want the leash to drag on the ground, I guess you could hold it up. Or he may be out in front of you like this walking. Or you could go like this and he could be walking, so it doesn't have to be dragging on the ground. You could always kind of, as long as it's loose, you can always double up like that. But if he wants to go ahead of you, make sure that you don't restrain him, because tension like that is going to cause stress in the dog. So that's the main reason for acting crazy out in public on a leash, is leash tension. So always keep it loose. And when he sees something that you want to call him away from, or if he's going to go and sniff something that's gross on the ground, or go do something you don't want him to do, he's moving away from you, left hand leash, right hand reward in a fist. Make sure you make a fist, because he doesn't know there's something in there or not. He'll come to this target, this fist, no matter what now. And when you start to phase the food out, which you're going to be doing in a few weeks, he won't know. Already with me, he doesn't care if there's food there or not. He has no idea why he loves to come to this target. He just does, because we practiced the recall with food for a long time, and now I've been able to phase it out. In this case, I don't think he's going to look away from me. And one of the rules is that you always call him when he's at least looking away from you, because that's a real life situation. He's going to be looking at something, moving towards something else. You want him to hear that command, break away from it, and come back to you. So don't call him when he's just staring at you. So if you start practicing with him a lot, and he doesn't, he starts always staring at you, like you're the center of the universe, which we kind of want that to happen, you're going to have to create your own distraction. So I've got a piece of natural balance in my target hand, but also I'm going to toss a piece like this. So, hey, look at this. I'm going to toss the distraction. Come, call him away from that. Good. When he comes to me, if I want control of him, I'm just going to grab the leash with my left hand. Then I have him. Come on, buddy. Come on. Sit. So I'm going to release him again and do that again for you. Go. And he's going to stare at me, so I'm going to have to create my own distraction again. So he's looking away from me. Go. He's going to follow that. Come. Call him back to me. Good. This time I drew the leash through my right hand, just between my little finger and my ring finger, that's my ring finger. And then step into him, sit. So you can do it either way. You can do go. You can do like this. And create my distraction. Go. Come. Good. And grab the leash like this. Sit. Good. Go. Or, hey bud, look. Go. Come. Draw the leash through your right hand like that. Good. Notice as he comes closer, you draw it through with pulling your left hand above you like that. And then you just stand up and you have the leash. He doesn't get all tangled up in the leash. Either way, sit. You see how it works. And I just practiced, 4 times in a row. He's already better. Again, every time you practice it, he gets better and better. So just always practice where you call him away from something. Don't ever call him when he's staring at you, unless you really need to, but in most cases it's a lot better if you practice in a real life context where you're going to be calling him back to you away from him doing something you don't want him to do. Go!